Foden was a long-standing British lorry and bus manufacturer that was established in 1887, although the roots of the company go back a wee bit further under a different name. At the time, they were largely a steam engine manufacturer. Things proceeded nicely for the company. Edwin Foden was the founder in the company, and in the 1930s his son, Edwin Jr., was involved in a corporate boardroom kerfuffle regarding the direction of the company. This set in motion certain events that led to the creation of ERF, Edwin Richard Foden, another British lorry manufacturer. Anyway, the company has a colorful history of takeovers and buyouts, and the final parent company, Picard, ceased using the Foden badge in 2006. The toy went into production by Lesney in 1964, and it was a favorite until 1969. They were all pretty much some shade of red on the cab with the orange tipper. Sometimes the grille and headlights were painted, and sometimes they weren't. This one isn't in bad shape, and when I look at it, I see a toy that was probably an inside toy. It's plenty chipped up from play, and the tipper is missing the tailgate, which is pretty normal. But it has no rust or corrosion, and no ground-in grit. So I'll be restoring this. Stick around. Not including wheels, the casting was basically three metal pieces. There was some small T-shaped suspension pieces, and the only part that was held together with a bent-over post was under the cab, and you can see it sitting there. It's too shallow to tap out, though. So once I get it apart and get the wheels off, I almost have to do it on this type of a chassis because of the way the fender wells are. Throw it all into the aircraft stripper and give it a shake for luck. Once the paint's gone, of course, start prepping to put paint back on. A little bit of wire wheel. Get inside all the details and remove what's left of the paint. Like most Matchbox dumps and tippers and everything, this is very detailed, and it's a real pain to get all the paint out of it. And if I tried to show you me doing the whole thing, the doggone video would be 4 days long, I think. But so did a lot of work on this to get all the paint off. Wound up digging out the safety pin, which is something I haven't had to do much since I started immersing castings in aircraft stripper. Usually that takes everything, or loosens it enough that it comes off easily. The castings were painted with Duplicolor white. As I've said before, I've had real good luck with this. The only thing is unlike the Tamiya, you may need 2 trips, and you're certainly going to want to go lighter than normal. By the by, I don't care that thing's flipping around. The only thing that's really touching is the bottom of one of the pin eyelets and the tipper pin. The orange I mixed by just making a normal orange, about equal parts of red and yellow. And then I added just a really, really small amount of black. Because this wasn't really a Halloween orange. It was kind of a construction orange, I guess, for lack of a better term. Of course, did a tack coat, let the tack coat cure, and went back and did successively heavier coats. The fact that the tipper tailgate stayed up was just it just happened. I didn't plan it that way. I was glad it did, but... And here you can see the paint is getting pretty mature. It's starting to get its own shine, which is what I'm looking for. Whoops. Oh, there, I'm back again. I did put a semi-gloss clear coat. I think it looks pretty good. I think I got the color. And for some reason when I put on reds, I made this red by taking just straight out of the bottle Tamiya red, and I think I threw, like 1.5 drops of black. It wasn't very much. I just wanted to darken it a little. And when I paint it, it always seems to look like rosier. I don't know, for lack of a better term. And then it dries the way I want it to, which is really strange. Maybe it's just my eyes. I'm getting old. And again, successively, heavier coats. This red went on really, really well. And the wheels were not in too bad a shape. Like I said, I really think that this was a toy that was played with a lot, but it was played with inside. So all they needed was a little scrub with some dishwashing fluid. I cleaned up all the axles with some fine sandpaper. You can see I got them all ready to go there. There's one of those little T-shaped suspension pieces. Now, something I do once in a while, if I can do it, it's great, is when I'm taking the burr off of the end of the axle, I don't take it all the way off, and I can actually literally thread the wheels on and off, and it works great when I can get it to work out, but you got to get it down to the point where it's almost ready to go off, but not quite. And then boom. Now this, because I was unable to really drill it out, I'll get it in there, I will. It was going to have to be put back together with epoxy. I don't remember who. I heard somebody one time apologize for that. I don't apologize for it. I'm not going to drill a hole that I have to patch to thread something in. I don't see how this is the greater of those evils. If I want to get it apart, I can. I just put a little drop of the gel, and then I kind of spread it around a little bit, just like the mushroom post was. I suppose if I really wanted to go all down under on everybody, I could paint it the same color as the cab, but I don't think that matters. Sometimes even pooch it a little bit in the middle. I think it looks pretty good just like that. So here it is, the final product. I'm sorry I didn't have any footage of me putting on the decals. As per normal, I had them both on there perfectly, and I couldn't leave it alone. And this one got just a little bit messed up, but as soon as it got messed up, I said I'm done, and I stopped touching it. Because I didn't want to have to try to put it back together. I think I got the colors spot on. There will be an episode of The Bench. I had one of my subscribers say, I know you got stuff going on, and yeah, he's right. And so, Mike, keep your pants on. I'll get to it. And this is the Matchbox number 17C Foden 8-wheel tipper. This is TimeRider, and I'll leave the light on for you. Hey, thanks for sticking around for this episode of The Bench. Hey, look, if any of you guys don't have one of these, you really ought to think about it. They're not terribly expensive. It's just a little paint booth that I use, and it has like 2 filters in it. One's kind of a foam filter that you can vacuum like I did, and you could probably even get it wet if you needed to get all the dust particles out of it. And that's kind of the fine filter. And then what I do is I buy bulk furnace filters to do the outside. So lately for me, and one of the reasons I didn't really do a bench is because I haven't really started anything new, because I have so many projects sitting there right now that need to be done, like this Rolls Royce. And I don't know if you remember this, but somebody on one of the Facebook groups that I belong to told me that they were going to make me a windshield. And so I went ahead and did all the restoration work, and the windshield never came to pass. So Polly at Fat Guy Productions in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, is going to be making a windshield for me on his 3D printer. So hopefully I can get that cleared up fairly quickly. So of course, one of the things that I'm really trying to get off my bench is this T-Bird, and I've painted it a couple of times, and I just, what it is I just wasn't happy with how the paint turned out, because it's such a wonderful little toy, and I want to, really do it justice. So, yeah, I'm still working on that, and hopefully I'll have that ready to go sometime in the next couple of weeks anyway. And then, of course, I got the majorette that absolutely refuses to be painted. Every time I paint it, something happens to the paint. I don't even know how many times I painted it. I tried to make a fire truck out of it 2 or 3 times. I tried making a police vehicle out of it once. And then finally I just said to hell with it. And it's painted now, and it's got really good paint on it. And I kind of want to let that be a surprise. Hopefully, I'm waiting for one thing to be completed on this, and then I'm going to put together the video. So I am going to start one new thing here. The 3 Blind Mice have picked their topic for August, which is going to be the Matchbox number 41C Ford GT. And the 3 of us are each going to take a lash and see what we can come up with. And, I noticed something in the comments, and I want to make something, abundantly clear, at least from my perspective. I'm not competing with George and Paul. We each have a very unique style and certain strengths, certain weaknesses. And, this is not a competition. This is more of a artistic revelation, for lack of a better term. We just like showing everybody, hopefully, the best side of ourselves. That being said, this is TimeRider. I'll see you in the next video, I hope. Subscribe, click the bell, share if you like, click the thumb down if you don't like it. If you're going to make a comment, please be respectful, and I'll see you next time.